The Church of Redemption in a small village, an ancient church stood tall, known for forgiving the gravest sins. Father Samuel, the priest, had heard many confessions, praying for lost souls. But one night, a stranger arrived, carrying a sin unlike any other. The stranger's request, the church doors creaked open, and a man drenched in rain stepped inside. He walked to the confession booth and whispered, "Father, pray for my death." Samuel froze, shocked. "Why, my child?" The man's voice trembled with rage. "I seek revenge in the afterlife." The cursed farmer's tale. The man, Elias, was a humble farmer. His life was peaceful with his wife and children until a sorcerer named Malakar arrived. Malakar cursed his land, killed his family, and destroyed his home. Days later, Malakar died peacefully. The unjust death, God let him die too easily. Elias whispered angrily, "He stole my life, and now he rests? No, I want to die and hunt him in the afterlife." Father Samuel shuddered. "Revenge is not salvation, my son." But Elias was determined. A dark presence awakens that night. Samuel prayed for Elias. The church candles flickered, and a cold whisper echoed, "He has already crossed over." The priest whipped around, but saw no one. On the confession booth, a single word was carved into the wood: Malakar. The first omen. The next morning, Elias was found dead outside the church. But what terrified the villagers most was a shadow, still burned into the ground, its arms reaching for something unseen. Samuel fell to his knees, his soul trembling with fear. The church becomes a prison that night. Samuel locked the doors, but heard footsteps inside. Slowly he turned. In the confession booth, a dark figure sat. It was Elias, but his eyes were hollow voids, filled with whispers from beyond. "I found him, Father." The return of Malakar. The church walls trembled. A shadow peeled from the corners, forming into something inhuman. Malakar, his skeletal grin stretched wide, his voice like cracking bones. "You prayed for his death, and now he is mine." The final judgment. Samuel clutched his rosary, his heart pounding. Malakar extended a clawed hand, gripping Elias by the throat. Elias screamed, his body writhing as the shadow coiled around him, pulling him into the darkness. "Help me, Father." The church's curse. The church shook violently, the candles exploded, and the air turned ice cold. Samuel collapsed, watching in horror as Elias disappeared into nothingness. The confession booth blackened, and a dark shadow burned onto its wooden door. The whispering shadows. By morning, Elias was gone, but the church had changed. Shadows moved where none should, and the whispers never stopped. Every night, Father Samuel heard a voice, faint, desperate, filled with eternal suffering. "Father, pray for me." The Church of No Redemption. Samuel sealed the confession booth, refusing to let anyone enter. But the shadows lingered. Some villagers who passed the church claimed they heard whispers, soft and chilling, calling their names from the darkness. The village falls silent. The church became feared, its once holy walls now tainted. The villagers no longer sought forgiveness here. They whispered about a figure at the altar, a man trapped in eternal torment. And outside, the wind carried his cries. The curse spreads. One night, a young man entered the confession booth, unaware of its dark history. Hours later, he was found dead outside the church, his shadow burned into the ground, reaching, screaming, just like Elias. The curse had not ended. The final warning. Samuel, now a broken man, knew the truth. Elias had never found peace. Malakar's curse was eternal, and now the church belonged to the dead. No more prayers could save it. No more faith could undo what had been done. Legends never die to this day. Those who walk near the church at night say they hear a voice from within, a whisper, pleading, desperate. "Father, pray for me." And always, the wind responds in a voice not of this world. He is mine now.